ABC, it's Greeno. Well, it's been a couple weeks, so it's time for another update. Slowly getting back into spinning more and more records. I've been in a movie mood, which I'm still definitely in, but definitely spending more time with the stereo, with the records. So let's kind of jump into it. We got a few new things, not a lot, and stuff's been around forever, finally getting to spin it. And actually some stuff just pulling out of the collection of what's spinning, which I was kind of going to try and do just a video for what I've been pulling out just to spin, but yeah, I'm lazy. I'm just going to throw it all together here. So alright, let's just jump into it. We'll start off with metal, and then there's non-metal stuff here at the end, so pick what you want, hang out, watch half, watch all. It's cool. I grabbed a couple new magazines, just got these pretty much over the weekend, so it's been crazy nuts. Yeah, busy as usual, everybody. But I haven't really even, other than leaf through these, I haven't read anything yet. I got finally the new Iron Fist. Love this magazine. I show it every time I pick one up. If you dig the 80s old school metal, this is the magazine for you. And it has new stuff in it too, so yeah, you can get turned on to some new stuff and read about what the old bands are doing, or just an article on an old band. You know, it's just great stuff. And a magazine I pick up just every once in a while, depending on basically what's on the cover or who the main article is. And it's Viva La Rock, and this month was the Ramones, which I love the Ramones. Had to grab that. And this is kind of like a an old, it's a punk magazine for old heads, I guess you could say. There's not a lot of, there's some new stuff in there, I guess, but you know, it's not modern punk, I guess. It's kind of geared towards if you're into the classic, more classic kind of punk. It seems to me. Like I say, I only pick one up every once in a while, but it's definitely a cool magazine, but not something to pick up all the time. Let's jump into it. Just got a package end of last week. Beginning of this week, actually. Sorry. Was super excited to get this. I did an order with the label No Remorse in Greece, and it showed up. This is playing in the background. Mendez Prey, I guess is how you say it there. Hopefully not too much glare. And this is just badass. It's new wave British heavy metal, early 80s through mid 80s, kind of all the recordings, or a compilation of the recordings. I don't know if it's all of them. Like I said, I just got this in and just started spinning it tonight. I had it a couple days, but from what I can see, they only put out a couple singles and, you know, some tracks on some comps. So this probably is most of their studio recordings, anyways. And this is great. If you dig your new wave of British heavy metal in that hard rock kind of vein, this is it. This isn't Saxon or Iron Maiden new wave British heavy metal. This is that hard rocking kind of stuff, like Goldsmith or Urchin, that kind of thing. Very cool. It's 2 LP set, and like I said, it came out last year on No Remorse Records. Hopefully you can see that. Very cool. And the reason, well, basically this album kind of spurred me to do this order, and I kind of grabbed the other, I got 3 from them, grabbed the other 2 because of this album. Definitely wanted to grab this. I've had this on bootleg CD for a long time, 10, 12 years or something. But No Remorse reissued it, Crystal Knight. And these guys were from Denmark, is that right? Very cool stuff. Kind of like an epic metal, little power metal, just full-on traditional metal. Yeah, there's some keyboards in there and that kind of thing. But man, this is a really cool album. It sounds so much better than that bootleg I have. No Remorse is doing a fantastic job with their reissues. They're right up there with High Roller. wow, lost it. But very, very cool. And these are all limited to like 300 or 400 pressings. So I wanted to jump on them as soon as possible. This one I don't know much about. Went ahead and grabbed it, checked out a couple clips online, dug it. And Aaron kind of popped up in a conversation about him, and he's really into him. So I thought, well, you know, that kind of pushes over the edge. I'll go ahead and give it a try. And it's Mistreated Premier Intervention. French band, I believe. I mean, I can't even remember the year or anything. It's like this was limited to 300. I think it's definitely early to mid 80s. But like I said, I haven't spun this one yet. Definitely excited to check this one out. So, and definitely big thumbs up to No Remorse, man. They're doing a great job with these reissues. Very, very cool. Alright, a couple things have been sitting around. It's new, but it's been sitting around for a while and just hadn't got around to spinning it yet. First is Under Command, which is a split with Ram and Portrait. It's kind of cool. It's on Metal Blade, and they use like the old Metal Blade logo and everything, label. And it's pretty cool. It's 6 tracks, 3 per band. Each band covers 1 track from the other band, and they also do a cover. Ram does Creatures of the Night by Kiss, and Portrait does Aggressor by Exciter, which kind of, it's cool, but it's kind of an odd Exciter pick. It's actually off a later album, like from the late 80s or late 90s or something like that. What I would think of somebody doing an Exciter cover to me is, you know, going back to the Violence and Force and Heavy Metal Maniac and all that era. But very cool, you know. It's definitely a cool split. The Ram cover of Creatures of the Night is very cool. Okay, next up, same deal as the Ram Portrait split. Just been kind of sitting around, and I hadn't got around to spinning it yet. Finally did, and actually I'd never heard this album, and it's very cool. It's kind of a band I don't know, I've overlooked them for some reason. I have over the last few years come across some OG pressings of their earlier stuff and really dug it. It's just like within the last 4 or 5 years I've kind of discovered this band. I've been wanting to pick up more. So I got a reissue on High Roller of Razor's Custom Killing, which this is like their 4th album or something like that. Definitely later, maybe around 87, something like that. But very cool, just that thrash, speed metal, whatever you want to call it. Great stuff, man. It's just one of these bands that I missed as a kid growing up, and I've definitely been trying to get caught up on. So yeah, it's High Roller. They do it right. Had to grab it. A new band, New Wave Traditional Heavy Metal. It's actually their 3rd album, and just kind of got turned on to them last year. It's Air Raid, Point of Impact. This came out 2014. Really cool. Trying to remember, yeah, it's High Roller. It was limited to 500. Very cool band. It's that traditional metal. I don't know, a little more. I don't want to say epic. A little more power, progressive. I don't know. Very cool band. New band to me, so yeah, definitely still checking them out. Okay, next up, a couple records from the collection. Basically, kind of pulled these out to spin. Hadn't spun anything by this band for a long time. It was actually spurred on by Aaron again. He was talking about this band kind of out of nowhere in one of his videos, showing a record. But it's Omen, Nightmares, and it's like 87. Yeah, somewhere around 87. And it's a 6-track EP. But Omen was a cool band. Yeah, they definitely got weaker as they went along. I think. But you know, each album was a little less than the previous album. But very cool band. U.S. power metal, I guess. And then also spun Escape to Nowhere, and this was like the album after Nightmares. This is 88. Yep, good guess. 1988. Also Metal Blade. Again, you know, just a cool old 80s metal band. And this was probably their 4th album, and like I said, they got weaker as they went along for me. So, it is what it is. Cool album. Was going through some old magazines, kind of old rock magazines, putting them away, and kind of weeding some out, getting rid of some I just didn't want to keep. Went to get rid of one, and I noticed real small it had something about Pantera, Pentagram, and so I pulled it out and started reading it again. It got me thinking. Yeah, usually when I'm reading about a band, I'll pull out a record and listen to it. So I pulled this out. It's Death Row, Death is Alive, 81 to 85, which this is basically Pentagram after the 70s when they first got back together. They're kind of reformed in a weird way and turned into the Pentagram, you know, that would go on to record later. And I believe this is like the first one with Victor Griffin and all that, or this is the time Victor Griffin comes around. These are all just kind of live, very raw, you know, just recorded on a cassette, you know, different places, and you know, it is what it is. But it's actually pretty cool for, you know, I mean, if you're into the band, and I've definitely started getting into this band. This is very interesting. It's not a good place to start if you want to check out Pentagram at all. Don't start with this. But because actually I picked this up a while back and tried to listen to it, and it's just like I didn't get it. But I've been listening to a good bit of Pentagram here and there since, and you know, this really kind of changed for me. So it was definitely a cool listen, for, you know, for what it is. Okay, up next is another reissue, and this is another band I've had CDs of their first like probably three albums, I think it is. They got reissued, you know, nicely done, and were cool. But the vinyl popped up, so I went ahead and grabbed them. I grabbed 2 out of the first 3. And this is their third album, Escalation, and it's Necronomicon. I'm hoping I haven't showed this yet. I've had it for a while. And another high roller, just old school German, you know, speed, thrash, whatever. It kind of sounds like it looks, you know what I mean? It's a fun album. It's not something I would spin a lot, and I knew that going into it. Like I said, I've had the CDs for a long time, but it's just they were a cool band, you know, and I wanted to add it to the collection. I also picked up one of the other ones. I can't remember if it's the first or second one. Haven't spun that one yet, but it'll be popping up in an update at some point. Next, just some more what's spinning stuff I pulled out of the collection just to spin. And I freaking love this album. I love their first 2 albums are my favorite. And after that, they were cool. Definitely had some moments, but man, just those first 2 albums are like perfect to me. Well, it's Suicidal Tendencies, Join the Army, their second album. And the debut is like, I was talking to LJ about this kind of, because he's a big Suicidal fan, and he likes kind of here on, but he likes what came after, you know, that's his era. But that debut is like a great punk kind of thing, yeah. And then this is almost like, okay, we're going from the punk into what's getting ready to come. It's like a mixture of that first album and what came after. And this is like, it's just a fantastic album. I love this thing. Almost sing every word from as soon as the needle drops till it picks up on side B, man. I listened to the crap out of this as a kid. Great album. Next, pulled this out. It's been forever. Testament, The Legacy. The debut from freaking Testament, man. Everybody knows Testament. So, and this is on Atlantic. Megaforce Atlantic. There's the label. like I say, I had this a long time and just pulled it out. I actually got a beat up copy of that too that I've had a real long time. Next one, been sitting around for a long time, man. I picked it up a long time ago, probably 4 years. It's just been in a box. Just a cool album. Yeah. Excuse me. Heard it before, so I just never got around to spinning it. Felt like spinning it. That's Ace Frehley, Trouble Walking. Mighty Ace Frehley, you know. It says $1 on here. I don't think I paid that. I probably paid like $3 or $4 for it somewhere used. But love that early Ace stuff. What do we got going on here? Alright, then that's kind of the metal, and then 170s hard rock. Okay, sorry, got interrupted. Like I said, that was the end of the metal, and got one 70s hard rock find here lately. And I'm in freaking love with this album. This album is fantastic, man. Early 70s. I think they're German. I don't know a lot about this band. It kind of popped up, and I need to research them a little more. I guess I should before doing these videos. But anyways, it's a great album. Definitely check them out. It popped up on one of the sites I ordered from a good bit, and he had like one copy, so I grabbed it. Garen, definitely check this band out. I think you'll like them. It's Blackwater Park Dirt Box. And actually the album's kind of like this, but on the cover, but it's a gatefold. And you probably can't see all that at once, but very, very cool 70s hard rock. Just catchy stuff, man. It's just a smoking album. I can't speak highly enough of this. If you get a chance to check this out, dig the 70s stuff, and it's early 70s in that sweet spot, check this out, man. This is fantastic. It's a reissue on Long Hair, and I'm not sure what year they reissued it. And here's the like custom labels and all that. Let's see if there's a year on here. No. Not that I can read anyways. But anyways, definitely worth tracking down. Yeah, if you can track down the reissue. I have no idea what originals go for. I'm sure it's freaking through the roof. But wow, killer, just good hard rock, man. It's, and like I said, it's catchy. It's not just, you know, kind of jamming hard rock, you know. It's cool, but it kind of disappears after the needle picks up. This is a freaking good album. Yeah. Give it a shot. Alright, let me grab another stack and we'll keep this going. Okay, now the non-metal stuff. This is basically all what's spinning and, or what's been spinning and what's just been sitting in the just in piles. I don't believe there's a lot of brand new stuff in here, maybe a couple, but see as we go. A lot of this stuff everybody's probably going to know, so it's not going to take a long time here. I got into a Hendrix mood the other day reading an article in one of the newer classic rock magazines. Pretty good article, very long article. So I pulled out some Hendrix. Crash Landing. Everybody probably knows this stuff, so we don't need to go into huge detail. Live at Monterey. This is one of the newer pressings or new releases, whatever. Pretty cool. Actually, that was one I had for a while. I found this pretty cheap somewhere, like 12 bucks or something. Picked it up and just hadn't spun it yet, so that got spun. And Axis Bold is Love. This is one of the reissues, and this thing sounds fantastic. I think this is the only reissue I've really picked up. And if they all sound like this, I might have to see if I can find a couple more, because I see them around fairly cheap, so I might have to grab a couple more of those. This one I just picked up somewhere cheap, 4 Tops. Nature planted it. Just kind of got into it's on Motown, into like a soul funk kind of mood one day. And actually just picked this up, knew nothing about this band, but it was kind of cool. Reissue Fred Wesley and the Horny Horns. just funk soul. And looks like it was originally on Atlantic. There's the Atlantic label. Definitely cool. Looks like they had like 12 bucks on it. I think I ended up getting it for like $9 or $10. It just looked really interesting, so I grabbed it. And it was definitely cool. And this was also same deal. I'm pretty sure this is just a reissue too. It's Betty Davis. And you know what? This may not be a reissue. Let's see here. I think this is original. Just Sunshine Records, 1973. No barcode or anything. And I kind of looked on this one real quick because I couldn't figure out if it was a reissue or not. And this looks like the original label. If anybody knows, please leave a comment. That'd be cool. So, and like I said, crazy album. You know, kind of that funk kind of thing going on. And she's like kind of an out there singer. Definitely dug it. I just get those moods every once in a while. This I'd had around for a while. If I listened to O'Donnell Levy. Everything I do gonna be funky. Check out that cover. But anyways, definitely cool, and I think this dude was like a. It's kind of like a mix of jazz and here's the label. It's a mix of like guitar-driven jazz and funk, soul, that kind of stuff. It's definitely a cool album. I've been picking these up as I can, and just got this not too long ago. Hamilton Coliseum, 1981, Rolling Stones from the Vault. These things are amazing. I got like 3 or 4 of these now. This is 3 LP set with the DVD of the show, and they're just like, they're nailing these, man. These are fantastic packages. They sound great. The DVDs have all been great. And maybe at some point I'll kind of do a little video show of all of those. I say that and I never will, so forget that. Next, just got in the mood, pulled out, it's a reissue of, actually I think it's first time on vinyl anyways. And I've had this on CD. I actually saw them on this tour, which is Wilco, Being There. This is their second album. AM's my favorite, their debut. And what was next? Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and then that's like, boom, that's the end of it for me. They changed too much, got a little too experimental, and whatever, college rocky. This stuff, this era, early 90s, early mid 90s, whatever. Americana, roots rock still, you know. A couple of them just coming out of Uncle Tupelo, put out AM, and they put out this album. And great band, especially those early albums for me. And I pulled out some punk, the Normals, So Bad, So Sad. These guys were, Jesus, were they like Louisiana or somewhere like that? Louisiana, it looks like. And all this stuff is like 78, 79, just a reissue of recordings. These guys are fantastic, man. This is the punk kind of stuff I dig. If you dig Rubber City Rebels and that kind of stuff, just, I don't know, Heartland Punk, I don't know what you want to call it. Just good stuff, man. And had this for a while. Moby Grape, Truly Fine Citizen. Just spun it, check it out. It's cool. Yeah, Moby Grape, probably everybody knows Moby Grape. If not, check them out. Alright, that's it. I think my camera's about ready to run out. The battery, I mean. So, hope everybody's doing well. That's about it. Let's just cut it off before the camera dies. Later, BC.